made a model after the building created by Ife Jones, the Thorncrown Chapel. An interesting fact about Ife Jones is that he was actually an apprentice to Frank Lloyd Wright. Being the only apprentice to ever make it big after working for Wright, Jones showed his creativity and skills in this very simple chapel. Using organic materials when the most popular was steel and concrete, Jones made a very nature-friendly structure, one of the few to follow Wright at this time in this style. The structure's form is wood and glass, natural materials. And the functionality? It's a church, a place of worship and prayer. The scale that I used to create my model is 1/4 inch equals a foot. Now a little bit more about the building. Ife Jones created this building in the 1980s. And the location of this building is Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Furthermore, what's interesting about this building is that it was made with nothing but natural materials, wood and glass from the surrounding areas, rocks to create the concrete, and only a little bit of steel was used to actually support the structure. This is one of the most natural buildings of the 20th century. An interesting condition that Ife Jones required of this building was that it was to be built with materials no heavier than 2 men can hold. So that's why the building is so small compared to modern buildings that we see today. Another beauty that is seen from this building is Ife Jones left the building practically exposed. But because it's covered in glass, you can really experience the forest and the nature around this church in all seasons and in all weather conditions, and just you feel part of nature when inside this structure. This structure earned Jones awards like the 1981 American Institute of Architects National Honor Award and the AIA Gold Medal in 1990. Thorncrown was listed 4th on the AIA's top 10 buildings of the 20th century. When alive, Jones was recognized as one of the top 10 living architects of the 20th century. While creating my model, I tried to replicate the building method that Ife Jones used when creating his Thorncrown Chapel. They built all the big parts on the ground and then raised it up and put it together. Lastly, I would like to tell you a message that I believe that Ife Jones was trying to convey through this building, which is that some of the most beautiful things can come from such simple creations. Buildings that are with the land has a beauty of its own. I would like to thank you for watching my video and learning about the building I modeled.